Rumor mill this week, breaking news, like literally right before I came to film, we got a piece that breaking rumor, I guess. And then we also have some music rumors to talk about. Slipknot is specifically who we're talking about. Avengers, there's a big rumor, a couple of big rumors there, as well as the Nintendo Switch just stays in the rumor mill. So let's get all to this. Hello, nerds. I know what you want. You're looking for the rumors, aren't you? Well, you've probably come to the right place, because that's what this is. This is the Rumor Mill. This is a section cut out of the much longer main episode over on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy. The name of the show is The Week in Nerddom. We talk about all of the news related to nerdiness and pop culture and such. And then at the end of every episode, we talk about the rumors. And so you just found a cheat code and you went straight to the rumors section, which is, you know, all right. So let's just cut to the rumors now, shall we? Okay, so starting things off with the rumor mill, we have new sources. The only new source we have is in the Avengers realm of the MCU. We have another source, a much more reliable source even, saying that Kang is going to be replaced by Doctor Doom. There has been a little bit of doubt shed on this, but we'll get into that in just a minute when we get into the new rumors. So, speaking of new rumors, let's go to the new rumors. First up, we have a big music rumor that has to do with Slipknot. If you remember, they recently fired their longtime drummer, Jay Weinberg. Some very interesting things have come to light as far as the firing of Jay Weinberg that I think is relevant to the firing that kind of paints that in a little bit of a different light, not the least of which, and it kind of factors into the rumor, which is why we didn't talk about this in the music news, but it was, where was it? One of my music sources, I can't remember, Metal Injection, I believe, went back and was chronicling the other bands, the other big name bands that Jay has played for in recent years, shortly before he played for Slipknot. Right before he played for Slipknot was Against Me. He quit Against Me to play in Slipknot and apparently quit Against Me on a Facebook post. He did not talk to the band, and honestly, from what I understand, has not talked to the band since he quit. So pretty shady situation there. It's something that, you know, a kid would do, and Jay's roughly my age, so that's a little bit offensive. He's a little bit younger than me, but still. And then also, Madball was the band he played for before he played for Against Me. He was fired by Madball because he was a kid, because he felt like it sounded like, because they were far too professional to kind of rub his name in the mud at all with their firing, but they kind of seemed to imply that he expected to be treated with some sort of respect that he hadn't earned. And in a scene like the hardcore scene, and in any sort of legitimate punk rock scene, like, you don't just get respect, you earn respect. And it seemed like he hadn't quite learned that, and largely in the aggressive music scene as a whole, not just the kind of little branches of aggressive music. Like, as a general statement, if you are playing music in an aggressive style, then you do not get respect automatically. You earn your respect. You are a professional. You do the things that are expected of you to do, and in return, you get the respect of the other people in the scene. So, Jay got fired from Slipknot, which again, this is going to come full circle, I promise. The rumor around this is Jeramie Kling, who recently was playing for Venom Inc. He's played for a number of other acts in the metal world, but most recently, Venom Inc. He very, very recently quit Venom Inc. Venom Inc. Made a statement, "We wish nothing but the best for Jeramie, blah, blah, blah," you know, parting ways amicably. But he also posted to his social media, I believe it was Instagram, but I could be wrong. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was Instagram, actually. Posted a picture that was the Slipknot Tribal S, and it had something to do with, it's all in the timing. And it was shortly after it was announced that Jay was fired, and then the post was pulled very, very quickly, like within a matter of hours, which has led to much speculation that Jeramie Kling is the new drummer, potentially, for Slipknot. Now, this very possibly is more likely that I'm going to give it credit for, because of the fact that Jeramie Kling is a bit older by about a decade than Jay Weinberg, and has well-established connections in the aggressive music scene. He's been around for a while. He's done production. He's been a touring drummer. He's done, you know, a number of different things that have established him as a professional in the scene. So that definitely lends credence to it. The only thing I'm going to be critical of for this rumor is he doesn't seem to quite have the chops to sit on the throne for Slipknot, because while he does play aggressive music, Slipknot is a different level of speed and technique than he has exhibited in other bands he's played for. It's not to say he doesn't have the ability to do it, it's just to say that he hasn't expressed the ability to do it. So that's why we're going fairly low with this, but still on the probable side of things. We're gonna go about 60% likely that Mr. Jeramie Kling is going to be the new man behind the kit for behind the main kit, I guess I should specify, because they have 3 drummers. The main drummer for Slipknot is very potentially going to be Jeramie Kling. Actually, we're going to give it about 60%. Our next rumor, we're coming back to that Avengers stuff. So the big rumor here, the big new rumor here, is that Kang Dynasty, the movie, is no more, and Eternity Wars is going to be the name of the movie in its place. So while, you know, everything is still shifting in the MCU, and we don't have a new concrete date for any of the new Avengers movies, that is supposed to be the second of the Avengers movies. Now, like I said when we talked about this a minute ago, there has been some things that have been brought up recently that kind of lend one to think that this is less likely. But basically the way it boils down is Feige is a man who makes a plan and tries his damnedest to stick to it. Right now, he has dumped a lot of money into promotion for the current trajectory for the MCU. That includes Kang the Conqueror as being one of, if not the big bad. They have been leaving little breadcrumbs throughout the more recent stuff, specifically Loki Season 2, that is definitely opening a possibility that they could make this shift, but there are equally as credible rumor mongers that are saying that because he has spent so much money, until we have a verdict in his civil case, or his legal case, I guess is more appropriate, he's sticking with the plan as is. So there is not a plan to change it. There is a plan B, just in case, but that is not the preferred plan, according to some equally as reputable rumor mongers, like I said. So does a plan B exist? Probably. Is that the way we're going? No. We're going to say Eternity Wars or some other movie replacing the Kang Dynasty movie. Super unlikely. We're going 40% on that. So on the unlikely side of things, that's, you know, kind of going down that way. Then continuing with Marvel, let's talk about Fantastic Four. And honestly, we got a breaking piece with the Fantastic Four. So I'm changing my notes kind of on the fly because I did this before the breaking news. So let's go here. The piece that we were going to, the piece that we were going to be reporting on was Jake Gyllenhaal is said to be in talks to play Reed Richards. Well, it seems that that's soured, because the breaking piece here in the rumor mill is that Pedro Pascal is now the big guy for Reed Richards. And this has gotten to the point where it is in the trades. So still technically rumor, so it could not happen, but more likely than Jake Gyllenhaal, because it seems Jake Gyllenhaal has likely passed on the idea. So we were going to say 30% for Jake Gyllenhaal just because he's already in the MCU, and like that just seems like somebody making up stories. Pedro Pascal, on the other hand, not in the MCU. We can put this one a bit higher. We're going to go 80% because it's in the trades at this point. They're reporting on it. By the time it hits the trades, it's all but official. So there is still a little bit of rumor to negotiate, but it seems that that's what they're doing exactly, is negotiating. 80% likely Pedro is going to be playing Reed Richards. Very interesting choice there. I don't know if he'd be my first pick for Reed Richards, but he's a hell of an actor, so he can do whatever the hell he wants. We'll see what happens. From there, let's talk about He-Man. This is the live-action He-Man Masters of the Universe. The once Netflix destined movie is now being shopped around to Amazon, actually. Specifically been picked up by Amazon, according to the rumor. Producers Adam and Aaron Nee, who were originally supposed to produce it for Netflix, are supposedly going to be following it to Amazon. The likelihood for this one, we're looking at about 85%. This just seems, again, this is in the trades. It seems all but done at this point. So yeah, that's where we got there. Continuing on with things that are canceled and not canceled and so on and so forth, we have Coyote versus Acme, the John Cena Looney Tunes related movie. Was supposed to be a Warner Brothers movie. It was supposed to come out on Max, was supposed to be straight to streaming release. And then it got filmed and finished, and Max wrote it up, Warner Brothers specifically, wrote it off. They used it as a tax write-off. And it got test screenings apparently, and the test screening said it was really good, so that just doesn't make any sense. But for whatever reason, they're not putting it on Max. That's not the rumor, that is fact. The rumor here is that it's getting shopped around to anyone basically who has the money to pick it up. Those people being specifically Netflix, Amazon, and Apple. Since they're not putting it on Max, it only seems logical that you're gonna try and make some money off it, make some actual money off it, because the sounds of it, the write-off that they got for it only made them about 30 million above what it cost to make the movie. And you could really make a lot more than that if you had, you know, sell tickets or let people stream it. You're gonna make I just don't understand Hollywood business. I really don't. So them shopping this around, again, in the trades, this honestly, because of the fan reaction, seems very, very, very likely. 95%. I will be very surprised if we do not end up seeing the Coyote versus Acme movie. Then from there, we have a gaming rumor. This one comes kind of directly from Neil Druckmann. Last of Us Part 3 is now being rumored to be in production because of a tweet from Neil Druckmann, basically congratulating, I believe it was the composer that he used on the Last of Us games, because he won some award, and so he said, congratulations, we have more collaborations to do. And now everybody's going, oh, it's part 3. Of course it's part 3. It was always part 3. Well, they work on other projects together besides just The Last of Us, so this really could mean anything. And because that's all the evidence we got to kind of split the difference. We're going 50-50 on this one. It could go either way. It's just as likely that it is Last of Us as it's one of their other projects. So yeah, we don't really got much to go on there. Next up, we have another gaming rumor. This one is Fortnite. Fortnite X Rocket League apparently is about to happen. Some data mine leaks and all that jazz. We've seen a racing mode kind of circling in the rumor mill, not to be too punny with it, for a little bit of time, for a couple weeks at this point. And now we have some more leakers saying that they've seen pictographic evidence that this is a thing, but the picture is a little bit old, so there is still a bit of wiggle room that this might not be coming soon. But I don't know, at this point it seems like just one of the worst kept secrets in gaming. So we're gonna say 90% likely that there's going to be a collaboration between Fortnite and Rocket League sometime in the next few months. We have no real time frame for this just yet. Continuing in the gaming side of things, we're going to talk next about Up, the video game based on the Disney movie from 14 years ago? Yeah, apparently that's in the rumor mill right now. It's a PSP game specifically, just got a rating in the country of Taiwan that puts it on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, so weird. But that is leading to speculation, rightfully so, that we're going to be seeing it on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. I think what's slightly more likely, though we haven't seen anything to kind of confirm this, but what seems to me slightly more likely, because of the time gap, because it has been 14 years since this property has been relevant, that this is very potentially going to be like part of a bundle that they're upgrading to the current and last generation PlayStation consoles. So are we going to see it? Sure, I guess technically I still believe that's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen in this style. So for this specifically, are they releasing it by itself, I think that's about a 60% likely. If the rumor said that it's going to be part of a Disney gaming bundle that's coming out soon, that would seem a little bit more likely to me. But as a standalone game, we'll say 60%. Staying in gaming, we now have kind of sort of two rumors dealing with the Nintendo Switch 2, or whatever they end up calling the successor to the Nintendo Switch. First up, and they're kind of contradictory rumors in a way. First rumor is that the system is going to launch, which that may sound obvious, but I don't think it's not the... If it didn't happen, it wouldn't be the only time they've launched a console without games, but it's going to launch with the new 3D Mario game. So effectively the platformer, the Mario game for the console, because you effectively get one main Mario game per console, right? So console generation, I guess I should specify. So we're getting one 3D Mario game and a new Mario Kart game with the launch of the Switch 2. So the other rumor here has to do specifically with the Mario Kart game, and that rumor says that that game is actually going to be in 2025, which presumably is going to be approximately a year and a half or so after the launch of the console. So it would not be a launch title, but it is still in the works. The rumor that it's not going to be coming out until 25, that rumor monger says that they've seen the game in action and it looks amazing. And actually, they reference the 3D Mario game as well, the platforming game as well, and say it looks like they're throwing a ton of money at both of these games. If there's a working version now, and we are just under a year, theoretically, just under a year from launch of the console, why would it not make sense that they're coming out together? Like, that just, I don't understand people sometimes. So the likelihood that the 3D platformer and the kart game are both going to be launch titles, I'm going to put that at about 70%, because yeah, I feel like Nintendo learned their lesson with those few generations where that wasn't the case. And also 30% likely that the kart game is going to be coming out sometime after launch, but is still in the works. That just doesn't, the math does not compute there. All right, so next up, oh no, this is actually movie news. We're going back to Marvel, kind of, more Disney, or Sony rather. Spider-Man 4 is said to be in the works and featuring Daredevil and Kingpin as part of the storyline. This one is super, super unlikely, because that comes from one less than reliable source, and then multiple very reliable sources have said that used to be the case, but is no longer the script that they are working with for Spider-Man 4. So we're going to say approximately 20% likely that Spider-Man 4 still contains Daredevil and Kingpin. And then back to gaming, we're talking Grand Theft Auto 6. Like I said, we do have a rumor here, as well as the announcement that the trailer is coming soon. The rumor is that the game engine is going to age your character. So the longer you play, the older your character will get. Seems like a very interesting gameplay mechanic. Does not seem like something that they would want to implement just yet. I don't know, just seems really clunky. The theoretical end game to that is not clear to me, so I would give this 50-50 because it comes from a pretty good source, and gaming rumors are generally pretty on the spot. But I feel like that little bit of doubt is dropping us just a little bit. We're going to say 45% likely that we're going to see aging characters in Grand Theft Auto 6. And then our final rumor is Blade. We have the end of the Blade series, or the Blade movie rather, on when it finally sees the light of day, is said to be setting up a Midnight Suns project. Series. It's series, right? Not a movie. I can't remember. Either way, it's Midnight Suns. It's setting up Midnight Suns. That's the rumor here. This seems likely. We're going to say 65% likely. The reason that it seems likely we'll be seeing Midnight Suns follow Blade is part of that group. Also, we have, I think, 2 or 3 other female exclusive superhero groups that are coming out rather soon. Or female centric, I guess, because the Young Avengers is not is not exclusively female. It's just probably going to be exclusively female in the MCU. So in order to course correct the way that Bob Iger seems to be implying and the way that Feige seems to kind of steering, we're going to say that seems likely that they would have a slightly more male, because I don't think they're going to go 100% male, but I think they're going to be slightly more male-centric with at least one of their upcoming projects, and that's very likely to be the Midnight Suns, because it's a really cool property, and Feige likes to make things that are slightly obscure into some pretty cool IP. At least he used to, and that is our rumor mill for the week, nerds. Once again, these were the rumors from the most recent episode of The Week in Nerddom, found over on the main channel, youtube.com/generally nerdy. The name of the show, once again, The Week in Nerddom. Come back next time, because we got lots more rumors to debunk or possibly give some credence to, or what have you and whatnot. Before we go, though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.